Peace, love, and light, Taurus, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ty, and I'm super happy to have you. Hopefully, you'll take a look around, like what you see, and hit the subscribe button. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining me again. I truly appreciate all of the love and the support. Hopefully, you've already subscribed to the channel. You guys, if you're new to tarot and you don't know how this works, it is a general love reading for those who are single or in situationships. So everything won't resonate. Please take what resonates, leave the rest for somebody else. Also, keep in mind this is a timeless reading and the roles are interchangeable. So you should place yourself and everybody in your story where you know they belong, because only you know where everybody goes. I only pick up the energy. Okay? I'm going to get right into this because I don't want to be too long. Taurus, I was sitting here meditating on your energy, and I feel like I'm picking up this energy of someone who is going through an awakening almost, right? Somebody who feels isolated or actually is isolating themselves. Like you want to move away from certain people in certain situations. But I also feel like somebody might be in a situation where they feel like they feel like they're alone in the situation because they're realizing that that person's values, that person's goals are no longer in alignment with theirs. It's like they're coming to the realization that it just doesn't fit anymore. And what Spirit is saying is that, or what Spirit wants you to know is that you shouldn't compromise your values or your own happiness for the sake of having somebody there, or for the sake of the other person, because it's not going to be worth it in the end. Spirit is saying that Spirit is your biggest ally. You're not alone. What else? And you know, you can't be everything to everyone. Okay. Yeah. So I'm getting that energy here. Taurus, I feel like right now, you're going through this major awakening, right? Where you really are starting to realize your own self-worth, right? You pulled, the top row, you've got the Two of Cups, which tells me that, you know, this is not just soulmate energy, right? When it comes to connecting with somebody on a romantic level, I feel like you are connecting with yourself. Finally, you're in a space where you are breaking free from cycles and patterns, and it's like you're gaining clarity. Okay, with the Knight of Cups having come out in the reverse beside the Two of Cups, I feel like you could have been in a connection, or you're currently in a situation where, you know, it started off great and it felt great. It felt like, it might have even felt like this was your soulmate, this was your person, but you're starting to realize that this is just not fulfilling to you anymore. There's also a sense of like emotional immaturity. It could have been something with the Ace of Wands that fizzled out quickly. I feel like that connection, it might have been, it might have felt very exciting at first, but I feel like now you're starting to realize, or someone here is starting to realize that, you know, the connection is not only no longer feeling, but it was very physical. It was very, yeah, it was mostly a sexual attraction. And so with the Eight of Swords coming out in the reverse, I feel like you were feeling, Taurus, stuck at one point, very much up in your head, a lot of like, there was, the word I'm getting is turmoil, right? Like mentally you felt stuck. And I feel like you're breaking free from that. You're releasing like those fears. You're starting to face them, even if little by little, right? With the Chariot, I feel like you are starting to gain control over your life, and the Nine of Cups here, it tells me that you're in a place where you're starting to prioritize your own needs, your own desires, your own happiness, which is a beautiful thing. However, for those of you who are still in a situation, there's a decision that you're avoiding, right? And it could be that, you know, you are avoiding making this decision, but you're also guarded. You're guarding your emotions. You pulled back your energy, or your person could have pulled back their energy, right? You got the Emperor here, which tells me that, yes, somebody has really firm boundaries somebody has really firm boundaries up, and they've pulled back their energy and their emotions, right? Because you're gaining control of whatever this situation is, right? I do feel like for those of you who are single, there is some sort of romantic offer that is coming in, that is stable, that is structured, that is reliable. And this person might not show you how they feel necessarily all of the time. They might not wear their heart on their sleeve, but you can feel the connection. You can feel that they're reliable reliable. Although Spirit is saying here, don't run to jump into something, because the Knight of Cups there in the reverse could be that someone, you know, presents an offer, but then realizes, oh, they get cold feet. It's like, oh, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe we need to slow things down. So it could start off very hot and heavy and then like fizzle out very quickly. Okay, Spirit is saying, don't compromise your needs, your values, your morals, your ethics for the sake of somebody else. We don't chase, we attract. Okay. And, you know, prioritize your own happiness. At the bottom of the deck, you got the Nine of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Star. All right. So there are offers coming in for those of you who are single, you know, and you could already be experiencing this, right? So they're new. It's going to start off. These are fresh people who you don't know. Okay. For many of you, these are new people, new love that's coming in, new connections, however you want to say it, right? But with the Nine of Pentacles here, I feel like we got two nines here, right? So you're completing a cycle here, right? You're closing something out. And for many of you, I feel like this is you closing out, putting others' needs before your own, right? Compromising your own happiness just because you're afraid to face something, just because you're afraid to communicate your needs or your wants. I feel like you're coming away from that, Taurus. And if you haven't met someone yet, just know that when you step into these connections, remember your own worth. Remember that you are, you know, scouting them. Don't worry about how they feel about you as much as you should be worried about whether or not, or concerned with whether or not you like them, whether or not they align with your goals, with your values, with your morals, with the things that you want. Do you want the same things? Okay. Because you are going to have multiple offers coming in here. Could be from people who are younger than you. Just make sure that you're taking your time, that you're not rushing into anything, right? What else did I want to say? With the Star card here, yeah, I feel like you're going through a period of healing, of rejuvenation. For those of you who are single, or even those in situations, I feel like you're, again, awakening to like this new, a whole new world. You're learning yourself, you know, you're learning about what it is that you want. I feel like you're starting to listen to yourself, okay? And you're cutting out anything that doesn't serve you. However, I feel like some of you are still in a situation, again, where you're avoiding something. You're avoiding having a truthful conversation. You're avoiding making a decision about something with that Two of Swords there. Tell me about that Knight of Cups in the reverse for Taurus. Yeah, Three of Swords. I feel like something is over. Something is a disappointment, okay? And for those of you who are in a situation, and there could be multiple people involved, you could be dealing with multiple people, like talking to multiple people all at once. Especially with like the Page of Wands, the Page of Cups, it could be a situation where children are involved. That's not for everybody, but you know, this is not a time for you to like turn your cheek, right? You got to take things at face value, all right? What is the situation showing you? What is the person showing you? For those of you who are not in a situation and are single, the Three of Swords here, again, move slowly with whoever it is that's coming in, because I feel like if somebody comes in very hot and heavy and they, you know, they're like love bombing and they just, you know, you're the greatest person on earth, you know, greatest, best thing since sliced bread, and it's only been 2 weeks. I feel like this person will come in very hot and heavy, but then they'll, you know, walk away basically, right? Or you'll realize very quickly that they're not in alignment with you. Tell me more about that Knight of Cups with that Three of Swords. I want to see what's going on here for Taurus. Oh, we got the Empress and we got the Hermit. Okay, yeah. So I feel like for those of you who are single, you have been hurt a lot in love. You have been disappointed a lot. And many of you have been by yourselves for a while now. Okay. And again, this is about, the Hermit is about getting to know yourself, connecting with God, following your intuition, really thinking about love. And I feel like what Spirit is saying here is that, you know, you want to leave the past in the past, right? You can't do anything to change the past. The past is gone. All you got is right now. And how we think about things shape our reality, right? Our thoughts turn to things. And so this is about really releasing the things that you have to release, because I feel like somebody may be experiencing a lot of fear going into either dating again or exploring a new connection. And that's not where you want to be. You want to be in the heart, right? So drop down to the heart. The Empress here says, you know, love, remember to love on yourself. Remember to nurture yourself, to be gentle with yourself, because how we treat ourselves, you know, dictates the love that we attract as well. Okay. I do feel with the Emperor and the Empress here, I feel like for those of you who are looking for a connection, you are calling in a divine soulmate, your divine feminine, your divine masculine, someone that's really going to make you happy and value you. I feel like either you have your eye on somebody, or, you know, they stand out to you, or you stand out to them, right? And this is somebody who is self-sufficient, who is, you know, doesn't need love because they love themselves already fully. They want romantic love. They don't need you. They want you. You don't need them. You want them. Okay. So that's something to be mindful of as well, because when I was talking about the energy that I was picking up on, that isolation, make sure that you are, you know, attending to things that you need to attend to with respect to codependency and things like that, right? When we feel like, oh my gosh, I need someone here, that's codependency. That's not wanting love. Okay. You shouldn't feel like you absolutely need someone. You should desire them, want them, but not feel like you need them in order to live a happy, fulfilling life. Okay. With the Star card here, yeah, I feel like, you know, I feel like there's something really healthy coming in, but only after you release these fears and these negative thought patterns of, you know, about the things that you've been through. I get it. I know what it's like to go through traumatizing shit, and it is a process to release. And we release things, you know, little by little. I was having this conversation with my cousin the other day at how, you know, it takes so much time, right? And I read this quote one time that said, you know, like, if the trauma or the pain was deep, the healing is going to be deeper, right? It's gonna, if it was a long-term thing, you were going through something for a long time, it is gonna take a while for you to address everything that needs to be addressed. And even during that time when you're single, you know, when you come into a connection with somebody after being single for a while, after coming out, after healing from a situation, the real tests, like the real challenges, come when you find someone that you want to connect with that is healthy, the healthy love, because that is what's going to trigger you, because it is going to be the mirror, right? You're going to be facing the mirror, right? And I feel like for many of you, you know, oh, okay. So some of you may have disconnected from somebody who now you're reflecting on. Things are becoming clear. Tell me about that Eight of Swords in the reverse. You're becoming clear about a situation because you're sitting with it, you're thinking about it, and you're realizing that the person who you walked away from, the person or the person who is on your mind, if this was you, flip the role, was your person. Yeah, the Seven of Wands. And I feel like now somebody is like, yeah, this is like realizing, surrendering to the fact that, you know, to the fact that this was a situation that that somebody walked away from. And now it's like admitting to yourself, like, damn, I messed up. Or your person is admitting to themselves, damn, I messed up. Yeah, Two of Pentacles came out in the reverse. So I feel like this is somebody who could have been juggling, right? Or there was just an imbalance in the connection, right? Maybe unrequited love. But now somebody I feel is feeling a little bit overwhelmed by, you know, all of these realizations, right? Be gentle with yourself. Yeah, clarity is like a breakthrough. Somebody's having an aha moment, like, oh shit, this is the truth. And this is also a card of communication. So if there's somebody who you're not communicating with and you want to communicate with them, you want to tell them how you feel. Because, yeah, I feel like with the Two of Swords here with the Emperor and the Empress, I feel like somebody who held back their feelings now is realizing the love that they feel for somebody, and they want to communicate that, okay? Tell me about this Ace of Wands in the reverse for Taurus. Eight of Pentacles, yeah. So I feel like something couldn't move forward, but now it's like there's a desire to commit. There's a desire to work things out, something that couldn't move forward. This could also, for some of you, be a situation where you meet somebody at work. You could have met this specific person at work, the person on your mind. The Three of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. This is an energy of waiting on making a next move, waiting on what's coming in. This is also a card of expansion. Yeah, so I feel like somebody walked away and now somebody's waiting on them to return. Somebody's waiting on them to come back. Somebody's waiting on communication. So I feel like, yeah, there's an energy here of realization, okay? This is also waiting to make a move. For those of you who are in a situation and you are feeling stuck, I feel like you're starting to get all of the clarity that you need, and now it's like knowing, okay, what do I do now? You know, it's time to make a move is what Spirit's saying, right? There's no more waiting. It's just time to move, right? You've been waiting, you've been planning, you've been preparing, you've been thinking. Now it's just realizing, okay, this doesn't feel good anymore. This doesn't align with me. It's time for me to go, okay? Taurus, I think that's all I have for you. One more for advice outside of, you know, what we already discussed. One more for advice. Anything else for Taurus? If nothing comes out, then that'll be it. Yeah. Nope. Bottom of the deck, death. Yeah, you're going through a transformation. There's an ending that's happening here, or that needs to happen in order for you to really heal yourself. For those of you who are in situations, right? This is about pulling away from the things that are not serving you anymore and honoring your spirit, honoring your happiness, not putting the needs of others before your own. Obviously, you're not out here hurting people, right? But when we need to heal from things that we've been through, we have to put our own needs first. We have to give ourselves that space, that time to heal from it, to come to the realization, to face ourselves, to face our shadows. And so I feel like that's what this is about for those of you who are in a situation. For those of you who are already single and waiting on love, I do feel like there is something coming in for you. A strong connection here coming in, multiple offers. However, there's a need for you to leave the past in the past, allow this change to happen, you know, to take place. You're not who you were. You're not where you are. You're not where you were. And you don't have to be reiterating. You don't have to continue reiterating the same old story. That's what Spirit is saying, okay? Because again, love is coming in for you. It's a solid offer. Somebody who is dependable, who is reliable, somebody who is emotionally available. And yeah, Spirit's advice here though is don't move too quickly. Take your time with this, all right? But there's a need to release the fears from the past, the fears from past heartbreak, from past disappointment, all right? Taurus, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, drop a comment down below. Let me know if it resonated. How? Give your girl a like. It does help my channel. Also consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. If you're interested in a personal reading, or if you're interested in either collaborating with me or following me on other social media platforms, all of that information is going to be in the description box below. I love you all so much. Peace, love, and light. Mwah.